Starting off this afternoon, the first opinion poll in Uganda's 2021 election has placed Yoweri Museveni ahead of his two likely challengers. The poll released by Research World International shows Museveni would score 47% if election were conducted in March this year, while his challengers would get a combined percentage of 39%. The poll reached over 200 participants. Let's talk to Ali Mivule at the report launch currently. Ali Mivule, if you can hear me.
Thank you. Perry, let me come back to you. This survey goes beyond that, but I wanted to spend a little bit more time on politics because it's politics and we'll mix politics and the economy. Any surprises on the survey results for the other contenders? You have a shift, a significant shift in, for example, who is perceived as a front runner if the election was held in March when this survey was being done. That shift between Dr. Kizza Besigye and Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi of People Power, NUP?
Yeah, it's interesting because, as you rightly said, there's a shift because at the time the poll was conducted, if presidential elections had been held then, Honorable Kyagulanyi would receive 22% of the vote, and Dr. Besigye would receive 17% of the vote, while the current president, Museveni, would receive 47% of the vote. Now, what is interesting for me is if you combine the vote of Honorable Kyagulanyi, the 22%, Dr. Kizza Besigye, the 17%, and then the other candidates like Honorable Muntu, there are other listed candidates, and you put them together, they would actually have a majority. And what is also interesting, the president does not get the 50%, which is required to win an election outright. So that, for me, is interesting. Now, what is different in terms of what the report shows is that Honorable Kyagulanyi enjoys support more in the urban areas, while Dr. Besigye still has support in both the rural and the urban, just like the President Museveni.
The incumbent.
Exactly. They enjoy support across the board. So if I was a party strategist in NUP or in FDC and the other opposition parties, I would be thinking, how do we put our resources together and maybe have one candidate? The other would be, how do we get the rural vote? Because that is what is lacking. Honorable Kyagulanyi enjoys support in Uganda and Busoga, mainly. That's what the report says.
I think Bukedi.
Bukedi is actually the president. He has the highest support in some of those areas. So that means a party like NAP would have to work more on the rural population, work much more with women in the rural areas, and particularly younger women. That's my conclusion.
Thank you. I'll take at some stage a clarification from Dr. Oked again. If you say, I'll come to you on that. You said your sample from the urban was very small. The bulk was rural. This answer, to what percentage is it speaking, and to whom is it actually referring? Yes. You could still use Perry's microphone, your neighbors.
Charles,
yes.
When we go to sample, and I think Dr. Ngobi will bear with me, you distribute the population according to the weights of the population sector. In this case, therefore, the majority of the voters that we met qualified to be rural at about 69%, and then you have the smallest percentage of approximately 31% who are the urban. Now, the way to work.
All that conversation will be coming in detail in our subsequent bulletins later.